Assalamu alaikum. Today we will study the parathyroid hormone and its diseases. Parathyroid hormone, basically they are four in number and they are located on the posterior surface of the thyroid gland. Through this animation you can see the location of the parathyroid gland. They are four in number, located on the posterior surface of the thyroid gland, and they are secreting, as you can see, they are secreting their secretions, that is the parathyroid hormone, into the blood. Among the four, two are superior and two are inferior parathyroid glands. As far as its histology is concerned, it is made up of mainly two types of the cells, chief cell and the oxyphil cells. They are the chief cells which are going to produce the main hormone, while the oxyphil cells, they are degenerated chief cells and their main function is not known. They become more active during the abnormal disease condition, maybe in the parathyroid adenoma. This is the picture through which you can clearly differentiate between these two types of the cells, that are the chief cells most abundant, while the oxyphil cells, which are actually the degenerated chief cells. For the secretion of the parathyroid hormone, it is synthesized mainly from the pre-parathyroid hormone to the proparathyroid hormone, and through the endoplasmic reticulum and Golgi apparatus, the hormonal vesicles, they come into the cytoplasm, and through the exocytosis, when there is stimulus, they come out of the cell. Parathyroid hormone is the most important endocrine regulator of the calcium and phosphorus. So, the plasma level of calcium and phosphorus, that is mainly controlled by the parathyroid hormone, and its target organs includes mainly three, that are the bone, kidney and intestine. This is the animation through which I am going to show you how the parathyroid hormone acts on the bone to release more and more calcium ions. The dotted yellow color dots you can see, that are the parathyroid hormone. They act on the bone, and whitish calcium dots, they come out of the bone and then to the main circulation. This hormone that is released come to the circulation again, and from the circulation going to act on the bone, through which the calcium ion, they are released and come to the circulation. Under the effect of the parathyroid hormone, the level of the calcium, if you give an infusion of the parathyroid hormone, immediately, almost in the 4 hours, the calcium peak can be achieved, while the decrease in the phosphate, the maximum, that reaches almost within 2 hours. The actions of the parathyroid hormone, they are mainly through the bone, kidney and intestine. Through the bone, increased resorption and increased osteocytic osteolysis take place. Through the kidney, increased calcium and decreased phosphate and sodium reabsorption take place, while there will be increased formation of the 125 dihydroxy cholecalciferol. Through the intestine, under the effect of the parathyroid hormone, there is increased calcium and phosphate absorption. We will discuss these all actions one by one in detail. Collectively, you can see whenever there is decrease in the extracellular calcium compartment, there is decrease in the calcium, in the extracellular compartment, parathyroid hormone that is released, and through the bone, kidney and intestine it manages the plasma level of the calcium. How we can differentiate between the high calcium and low calcium extracellular fluid compartment level? What happens when there is increased calcium extracellular fluid concentration and when the low concentration occur? When there is high calcium in the extracellular compartment, more and more calcium binds to the receptors. Receptor activation leads to inhibition of the parathyroid hormone secretion, have negative effect on the parathyroid hormone vesicles so that they remain inside the cell. While whenever the calcium level decreases in the extracellular fluid compartment, they will not go attached to the receptor, so there will be no inhibition of the receptor, and that is the main stimulus for the release of the parathyroid hormone into the extracellular compartment, so to increase the calcium level. How the calcium level and phosphate level that is maintained? For that one, calcium level is under the effect of parathyroid hormone increase calcium and phosphate absorption from the bone, and rapid effect is parathyroid hormone to decrease the excretion of the calcium by the kidney. So through the bone it increases the absorption of the calcium, while through the kidney it decreases the excretion of the calcium. Both these effects combine to increase the plasma calcium level. How the decrease in phosphate concentration occurs? That is due to the effect of the hormone to increase renal phosphate excretion. So it increases the excretion of the phosphate so that the phosphate plasma level decreases. On the bone, we have the effect of the parathyroid hormone, which may be described in two phases, rapid phase and the slow phase. Rapid phase occurs due to the osteocytic osteolysis and slow phase osteoclastic osteolysis. So we will discuss these in detail one by one. How the osteocytic osteolysis take place. The calcium ion concentrated in the blood begins to rise within minutes, and there is removal of the bone salt from not only from the bone matrix but also from the osteoblast along the bone surface. I will explain all these effects through a very nice diagram, this one, in which includes the osteocytic membrane system also. What is that one? I introduce this system and then I come to this picture again. Osteocytic membrane system is that system through which the long processes of the osteocyte, they are connected not only one osteocyte to the other osteocyte but also to the osteoblast occurring on the surface of the bone, so that they are all interconnected with each other. The cell membrane of both the osteoblast and the osteocytes have receptor protein for binding parathyroid hormone, which can activate the calcium pump strongly. You can see from this picture, this one, that is this osteocyte. Through these lamellae, they are connected with each other and also through the osteoblasts lining the bones. And here the pump is acting, that is the calcium pump is acting, through which the calcium ions, they are coming continuously to the extracellular compartment. And this pump, that is under the control of parathyroid hormone, which is causing rapid removal of calcium phosphate salt from these bone crystals, and it is believed that this pump is also stimulate the increase in the calcium permeability, and through the pump it finally pumps out the calcium ions into the extracellular compartment. I have already explained all these things. Now coming to the slow phase of the bone absorption and calcium phosphate release. For the slow phase, immediate activation of the already formed osteoclast that take place. I will explain all these things through one more very nice picture through which you will be clearly understand all these things. This one. You can see the lining osteoblast and again the osteocyte connected with each other also, and I have shown already that they are connected to the osteoblast lining of the bones. These osteo, so they are connected with each other and they are connected to the osteoblast. What happens to the parathyroid under the control of the parathyroid hormone and the vitamin D? When they act on these osteoblasts, what happens? They release a very specific substance which is called OPGL, and this converts pre-osteoclast into the osteoclast. Now this is the osteoclast through which the surface which is facing the bone as you can see the area of bone reabsorption at this site. Now it releases the lysosome and acid secretion through which the bone reabsorption take place. This is the slow phase of the bone absorption through the osteoclast. So these osteoclasts, they are actually not having the receptor for the parathyroid hormone, but indirectly through this specific substance which act on the pre-osteoclast, they become activated and then they help in the reabsorption of the bone. This I have already explained. How the parathyroid hormone it is going to act on the kidney? It just simply increases the reabsorption of the calcium, magnesium, hydrogen ion and decreases reabsorption of phosphate, sodium and potassium ion. For this one, you can take the help of this picture, that is on the luminous surface under the effect of the parathyroid hormone, calcium channels they are opened more and more through the more and more opening of the calcium channel. Simply through the diffusion, calcium comes inside the luminous cell, and on the opposite side, on the opposite surface, calcium ATPase and the sodium calcium co-transporter through that they come into the interstitial space. Very simple diagram here you can see. In this picture you can see that the on the luminous side most of the calcium reabsorption of the proximal tubule occurs through the paracellular pathway and dissolved in water and carried with the reabsorbed fluid as it flows between the cells. Only about 20% of the calcium reabsorption occurs through the transcellular pathway. You can see that both of these pathway through this one and also this one. The calcium can come into the renal cell. Calcium diffuses from the tubular lumen into the cell down an electrochemical gradient due to the much higher concentration of calcium. And secondly, the calcium exits the cell across the basolateral membrane by calcium ATPase pump, and also the you can see this one and the calcium sodium co-transporter. Through these it comes out into the renal interstitial fluid. This is the explanation of the last picture. Through the intestine, how it is going to act? Parathyroid hormone greatly enhances both the calcium and phosphate absorption from the intestine, but this action is through the kidney, that is, it increases the formation of 125 dihydroxycholecalciferol in the kidney. Now this acts and enhances the absorption of the calcium and phosphate through the intestine. So it is very much helpful. And also through the cyclic AMP mediates the effects of the parathyroid hormone. You can see these the relation of the parathyroid hormone with the vitamin D that and through this that vitamin D, whenever there is low concentration of the calcium in the blood, release of the parathyroid hormone take place in the presence of vitamin D, that is through the kidney, decreased loss of calcium in the urine, and also because of conversion of more and more activated form of the vitamin D, enhanced absorption of the calcium from the intestine take place, and effects of the calcium from the bone. All these effects combine to increase the concentration of the calcium in the blood. So, in the summary, we can have that in parathyroid hormone increases blood calcium concentration when calcium ion levels fall below normal. Firstly, parathyroid hormone enhances reabsorption of calcium by the kidney. It then stimulates osteoclast activity and inhibits osteoblast activity. Finally, it stimulates synthesis and secretion of calcitriol by the kidneys, which enhances the calcium absorption by the digestive system. Through this one diagram, you can have a clear picture about the relationship of calcium, parathyroid hormone, and also the bones and the intestine, all how they are, and the kidney, and how they are acting together to have the optimum level of the calcium and the phosphorus, how they act and how they are controlled. Through this a single picture, you can have a clear cut explanation about this. With the completion of the explanation of the parathyroid hormone and its action on the bone, kidney, and intestine, now we come to the diseases and disorders of the parathyroid hormone, which includes the hyper and hyposecretions. Regarding hypersecretion, which is caused by overproduction of the parathyroid hormone by the parathyroid gland, it is characterized by bone decalcification and the development of renal calculi, that are the kidney stones, and the patient can have osteoporosis. This causes the bones to release calcium constantly into the bloodstream, and you can see the difference of the bones, that is the normal bone matrix, and in the osteoporosis you can have this picture with the reabsorption of the salts from the bone. Normal function of the parathyroid hormone, as we know that it increases the bone reabsorption, thereby maintaining proper balance of calcium and phosphorus in the blood. But when it exceeds its limits, bone damage, hypercalcemia, and kidney damage can occur. As far as its signs symptoms they are concerned, the patient can have bone pain in the ribs, in the long bones, polyuria, polydipsia, thirst, nausea, anorexia, and lethargy, fatigue, etc. For the assessment, we can find the decreased deep tendon reflexes and headache, drowsiness, fatigue in the patient with the muscle weakness and atrophy. For the diagnostic test, it includes plasma calcium level and phosphate level. There will be increase in the plasma calcium level, while decreased serum phosphate, increased serum parathyroid hormone, and also on the X-ray you can find bone demineralization, and on the ultrasound or MRI you can do the picture, you can see the picture of the gland which is hyperactive. In the hypoparathyroidism, there will be decrease in the calcium ion, that are the hypocalcemia and hyperphosphatemia take place. There is uncontrollable spasm of the limbs. You can have the spasm of the facial muscle and also the spasm of the wrist and hand. Spasm of the facial muscle and of the hand, you can see these one in the hypoparathyroidism. There will be hyperactive deep tendon reflexes, and numbness and tingling of the fingers, they will be there. Again, the diagnostic test includes serum calcium level and serum phosphate. There will be decrease in the serum calcium while the increased serum phosphate level with the low parathyroid hormone levels, and there will be decreased urine calcium. If the patient's eye examined, then calcification of the lens will be there, and on the radiograph you can find the increased bone density of the skull also. Lastly, I would like to explain a very important surgical complication regarding the parathyroid hormone, parathyroid gland, which includes the removal of the thyroid hormone. While doing surgery for that one, the surgeon may by chance remove the parathyroid gland also. So this is a very common surgical mistake. So you must keep it in your mind that beware of the surgical procedure about the thyroid gland. So if there is a history of the thyroid gland operation, you may find the removal of parathyroid gland with that one also. With this, we complete our introduction about the parathyroid gland and its hormone and its related disease condition. Thank you and Allah Hafiz.